Hey coin collectors, welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. Today we're going to look at the 1960 Jefferson Nickels from the United States of America. And 1960 is one of the most disappointing years for nickel collectors in U.S. history. There just aren't very many good ones to collect. This Franklin half from 1960 is one of the big stories in the value of the 1960 nickels. In fact, maybe the most expensive 1960, quote, nickel has something to do with the Franklin half. But first, let's look at these 1960 nickels that we have here. Now remember, in 1960, the mint mark is going to be on the back. So we see this one here that's really shiny. That means this is going to be a proof nickel from the Philadelphia Mint, because that's where they made the proof nickels. The easiest way to tell is just look at the full steps. Out of 250 million nickels that were made in 1960, less than 150 circulating non-proof nickels have full steps. What about these ones here? Well, this one here is how you're going to get one in your change. And what you do is you flip it over and you look right here. If there's a mint mark on the nickel in 1960, it's on the back. Same as it was for the quarters and the dimes. And then you see this one here, there's a D there. These are the two mint marks you're going to see from 1960. Blank for Philadelphia and D for Denver. When we look through these, there are a bunch of error coins to the 60s that are worth more than most of the best 1960 nickels. One of them is a Franklin half dollar that's overstruck on top of a nickel. I don't even know how you do that. Look at the difference in size of these two things. So the Franklin half on top of the nickel is one of them. Here's a preview of that one. Another one is one that's struck on top of a coin from Peru, a 5 centavos coin from Peru. Another one is listed on eBay as the Monster Rainbow Toned Neon Nickel. And we'll show you that. And then there is one you can't even really tell is a nickel. It's an amalgam of metal that's all stuck together called the double struck with reverse mirror Brockakage. But first, let's just go over the basics of this coin. At the Philadelphia Mint, they made 55 million. These are 75% copper, 25% nickel. A Mint State 65 would go for $3,000. A Mint State 66 Plus, which is the highest ever graded PCGS, goes for about $12,500, and they've graded 2. And that's a Mint State 66 Plus full steps. At the Denver Mint, they've never graded a full steps version. So you see this one and this Philly. Maybe you can you maybe see a step on there in the Philly one? Maybe. And the Denver one, you can't see any. PCGS has never graded a 5 full steps 1960 Denver Mint nickel. So when you look at the numbers on there, the Mint State 67 coin goes for $4,150. They found 10. And the Mint State 65 goes for $18, but you won't find the full steps. At the Denver Mint, they made $192.5 million. They also made these at the Philadelphia Mint as proof coins, and you can see this one. And one of the things that's kind of interesting about proof coins we don't talk about that much, these coins actually have not just steps in the center, but they have a kind of a step version on each side of this coin. So if you tip it up a little bit, you can see there's steps right there and there's steps right there. Now you never see those on any circulating nickel, or almost never, but on the proof coins once in a while you can see them like you can on this coin. And of course you can see all the steps in the middle on this coin. Unfortunately, the proof coins are all special. This one's probably worth about $5 or $5 to $7. But if we could get this up to a proof 69, it would be worth $4,500. And they found 10 of those. 1.7 million made, 10 proof 69s, 0 proof 70s. Now what about this Franklin half struck on a nickel? Let's take a look at that. So while the highest graded circulating nickel is the Philadelphia coin, a Mint State 66 Plus for $12,500, this one comes pretty close. It is a Franklin half overstruck on a 5-cent coin. And so it's kind of listed as a double denomination coin. Some people call it a 55-cent coin. It's a half dollar struck on a nickel, and you can see some of both. You can see some of the silhouette here, and on the other side of the coin, you can see that this really got cut off quite a bit. We don't have anything, we don't have the top of Franklin's head. And then if you go through, it has been graded by NGC as a Mint State 63, which is, I think they graded it as a half, but it's not really a half. It really is just a specialty coin. You wouldn't spend it as a nickel, and you can't spend it as a half, and it's not silver. And so I think it has to be, when you do the grading on this, I think you have to consider it as a nickel because it is on the nickel planchet. Now this one here is a really cool mess. You can see it's a mint error, Mint State 64 NGC, double struck with reverse Brockakage. And you can see little pieces of the nickel up here and down here. Look at that. So that's just really just like a fun coin. It is a nickel though, and it is graded by NGC, and it is for sale on eBay for $1,249.97. And this is one of my favorites. I've been really interested lately in these toned ones. And this is one on eBay for about $1,600. It is graded also as a Proof 67 Plus. So it's not the highest graded proof coin that PCGS has graded. They've graded one up to a Proof 69, but it's pretty highly graded. It's just really hard to get a coin this good and to get it graded. And if we look on this coin right here, we go to the PCGS, and we see the 4192 right there. The 0.67 plus is the grading that comes with it. So that's why PCGS puts this barcode on there, so you can actually look up the coins, or you can take this number that's way up here, and you can actually put it into the PCGS website and get the coin. And here's that nickel on a 5 centavos Peru coin. And you can see the 5 centavos here, and you can see Jefferson in the background. And then if we look at the back, you can see Monticello with the back of the 5 centavos coin. And so just a real mess, but it did sell on Heritage Auctions for $5,462.50 in August of 2010. So the error coins are some of the most expensive coins you're going to find if you're looking for a 1960 US nickel. Okay, well, we're back to our coins. So if you're looking for these coins, your best bet is probably to find an error coin that's really good. Either a double die or some kind of special error. There is, in fact, a quadruple die Philadelphia nickel from 1960, and that at a Proof 67 goes for $650, and they found 17 of those. So look for the quadruple die proof. If not, if you can find any steps, that would be great, and if you can find 5 steps, that would be spectacular. All right, that's all we have today from DC Coin World International Coin Channel. We'd love to have you subscribe to our channel and leave any comments you have in the comment section.